Viewers, it's James Calmer, half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike, bringing you back for some cultural recon. We're gonna run in here to LUHRING Augustine and look at an interesting show. A show by Philip Taaffe. Okay. Well, I've been fan, an observer. I mean, I guess I have my ups and downs with Philip's work over the last 30 years, but oh gosh, there he is. I always like to come in and see what he's working on. Well, we got a lot of the New York painting community out here tonight, I can see. Gosh. There's Chris Martin. Oh shit, there's Stanley. Stanley, that's great. Let's run through and take a look at what's in the back room as well here quickly. Let's look at some of these pieces individually up close. This is unbelievable. I was messing around too much in the studio, and gosh, now they're flashing the lights, which means I'll have to come back tomorrow, but well, at least we got a chance to see some of the other fans that came in. Got so involved in the opening last night, and I was yakking with some friends, and gosh, before I knew it, they started blinking the lights and running out the crowd. So I jumped on the bike, came back over here to Chelsea today, and it's still Only got about a half an hour before closing time, but I wanted to come back and take a little closer look at some of these paintings. This is titled Orphic Landscape 2, 2016. This is the oldest piece in the show. And this is 66 by 63. Talking about 5.5 by 5 feet, something like that. Well, I was just talking to Bruce Pearson, and we were sort of wondering whether or not these paintings had been exhibited before out in Bushwick, and we talked to one of the gallerists, and she said that these were all so far unexhibited here in New York. I actually kind of like this one because, as I see it, it's kind of a departure for Philip in that, well, it's mixed media on canvas, but kind of breaks away from his more formal, symmetrical work. This is Altarpiece, 2018 mixed media. It's 102 by 75 and 5/8, which is called 76 inches. This is 2018 mixed media on canvas. Well, we're saying that a lot of this is kind of a departure for Philip. I think this is kind of unusual in that he's using a lot of these, imagine those are digital prints, and maybe these white and pink things are silkscreen things over here. I think in my little stroll through the installation last night, I was mentioning that I sometimes, I run hot and cold on Philip's paintings, or at least in the 30 years or so that I've been watching them, I kind of feel different things about them. But I think that he does kind of play in some of the most interesting and advanced realms of abstraction these days, and I think that one of the reasons I keep coming back and looking at the work is that there's always these questions. This is titled Lively Oracles, 2019 mixed media on linen. Also, there are pieces that I initially didn't like, and then thinking about them and looking at them for a few years, I start to like them or start to maybe see more in them. And again, we've got looks like some silk screens. Philip is known for using a lot of collage, frottage, various kinds of techniques. And well, when I was talking about him kind of playing in the realm of major abstractions, especially here in New York, one of those characteristics is the scale. This is titled Inter-Zonal Leaves, 2018 mixed media on canvas. Well, and again, so we've got these leaf forms, and they look like they're some kind of prints, maybe. And then they're cut out and glued onto this background that's kind of looks like monoprint or some kind of maybe folded painted paper thing, sort of like a Rorschach tests. And well, I think one of the things that I kind of find interesting, and it actually kind of breaks away from the New York idea of the abstract expressionist and the painting from your gut thing is that I think Philip spends a lot of time thinking about how we can put these together. One of the things that initially was kind of a turn off for me back in the mid 80s was that this work all seemed so distant, sort of I think Phil was going for some kind of look that was untouched by human hands. This is titled The Psychoanalysis of Fire. Mixed media on canvas is 66 by 88. And and then there are always these sections of cut paper. And they were saying at the time that they were printed, and so I was imagining, gosh, this guy must have some kind of huge printing press or assistants that are working on this and doing this stuff with digital printers. And then I saw a little video of Philip in his studio, and he was actually inking these forms and then laying the paper or the canvas on top of them and dancing. Looked like he was dancing, kind of tap dancing on top of the inked blocks. And suddenly I thought, this is a lot more physically involved than I initially thought. And also there was kind of a almost whimsical humor involved in that. This is titled The Persistence of Vision. And, you can see here that he's gone in and just sort of started out with some scraping in some abstract forms, maybe with a big squeegee or a palette knife. He always likes to keep his surfaces pretty smooth and slick. And he's gone in and looks like, maybe printed other things in on top of that, scraped through some of those, and then glued in some other shapes on top of that. So maybe he would print one of the forms directly onto the canvas, then print that same form maybe onto a piece of paper, and then glue that on top, and so you get this kind of odd, confusing amalgams of levels, shapes, forms, color. Holothurian Passage, 2019. Mixed media, 79 3/4 by 114. This is a beautiful piece, big painting. Again, we'll get up and look at some of this from the side. Also, one of the things I like about this piece is that it's pretty simple. The color forms are nice, clear. And like this section here, you get the kind of a frottage, almost like a scumbling of the paint on the forms. Also, one of the things I haven't appreciated in some of these other pieces are the variations between the shiny and the matte. It's titled Altarpiece. I like this piece too because it's kind of light, and there's not a lot of the kind of repeated shapes. He's got a lot of spontaneous things that are happening. And, well, I've heard people talk about Matisse color, and I think this might be one of the better examples of that. So I was saying I run hot and cold. One of the things that I do like about some of the new work is that he's getting away from his very symmetrical, balanced compositions in some of these. Whereas here again, we've got a couple of very symmetrical pieces. It's titled Portal Eligdia 2019 mixed media on canvas. This is 125 by 52. Well, I like the use of the dark background, and gosh, the closer I look at that, I think that this was black, but now I look at it more closely, and there's a kind of a purple tint there. And I was talking about his kind of trying to produce these pieces without the touch. It's like they just kind of happen somehow, and well, these kind of little forms that are, I guess those are probably printed, have a great, I don't know what, a kind of lightness because they're not overworked. This is titled Portal Pormadia 2019 mixed media. It's 100 by 52. It's actually a nice diptych. And yeah, he's got a couple of pieces that are on these dark backgrounds, and well, I like the way that yeah, the colors work on here. Somebody was mentioning that people had compared this work to illuminated manuscripts, and some of the pieces evidently have got gold leaf and things like that. And I'm looking at some of these, and it looks like he might have maybe double printed some of the areas. And there is a great thing that happens in the paint when he does kind of print it over another form, another skin of paint. Okay, we'll look at the ones in the back room. This is Portal Epidectia 2019. Mixed media on linen, 98 by 52. Yeah, Philip does have a great talent for kind of finding these forms, and maybe one of the more appealing aspects of that is that it's almost like he's not inventing them, he's pulling them out of art history or some kind of parts of decorative arts or something. This is titled Flowering Leaves 2019, mixed media on canvas, 89 by 67. Yes, now it's always kind of a psychological problem. When I look at these pieces, I'm always kind of trying to figure out how they're put together, the various layers, what goes on top of what. And well, I was mentioning that one of the interesting things about this is that a lot of these shapes seem like they're borrowed, taken, stolen, pulled out of some other realm and brought into these paintings, and kind of shift their ontological personas. It's titled Syncopated Ferns, 2001 to 2019. So that's me. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, all right, get a shovel, baby.
And I just read some of your writing. You wrote also.
Well, I try. I try, yeah. I'm a bad writer. This is actually from 2001 to 2019, so Philip has been cranking on this for 18 years, something like that. And, well, I was talking about him kind of using things that he's found, and some of this looks like either photographs of plants or maybe illustrations from some kind of botany encyclopedia or an index. And I think the other thing that is always kind of problematic, fascinating, makes me question is Philip's idea of decoration and abstraction, how those things come together. So I was talking about how he kind of is a part of the New York abstract painting community in that he's working in a very ambitious realm. He's playing with a lot of things, although he has kind of cut himself off away from the hardcore expressionists. But this whole question of decoration and whether or not that has the same kind of profound content that you could have with something that was, what could I say, not as beautiful, not as pretty. Anyway, that's one of the things that keeps me coming back and looking at the work. James Kalm reporting on Philip Taaffe here at LUHRING Augustine. Here on West 24th Street. You can like this, share, subscribe, link it up to your social media platforms, and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. And as we have for 15 years, we only ask you to say, thank you, Kate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thanks.
God bless you.